G'day everyone, welcome to Grandma's Handbag. My name is Dean, lovely to have you with us here on this Vinyl Finds number 14. Wasn't exactly what I was planning or scripting to do, but I've seen a couple of people lately bring up the whole subject of blind buys. So we're going to get into that in a second. First things first, the helper. Is Sagres Bohemia, so it's coming to us from Portugal. Lovely dark beer. Least thinking of you with this one. I think you'd like it. Not extremely challenging, but really tasty. 6.2%. Plenty of malt in there, and that roasted sort of not too heavily roasted, but good caramel lick in there. Anyway, I'm just going to turn this down for a second. Sorry about that. He's still quite going persistent as Mr. Kale. Listening to John Cale, Fragments of a Rainy Season. Great live set from, I think it's about 92. Solo piano. Going through a 20-year solo career at that point, and barely a dud song or note on the whole performance. Lovely stuff. So yeah, blind buys. These are all very cheap. Now, I thought that I wasn't the kind of person that did blind buys, to be honest, because look, part of the thing with blind buys is, you know, if you got the money to do it, go nuts. I mean, go buy anything that sort of piques your fancy, or your interest, whether it's going to be a nice looking cover, whether it's, yeah, you know, there's so many variables there for what constitutes a blind buy or a good one. In my books, I tend to save money for the big ticket items, the things that I really want, and the blind buys tend to be right down the budget end. So I guess this episode has got a bit of a nod to Diana from Digging in the Crate. She did a recent finds where they were blind buys, but it sounded like they were probably, you know, they might have been €5 to €10 or €15. I mean, still worth a splash, absolutely, but I tend to save that sort of money and keep my blind buys down more towards the cheap and cheerful record collector's way, Jonathan's way, finding the bargains and interesting things you want to delve into a bit more, whether I've only heard, as with most of these, either just the name or one or two tracks, or you know, it could be a label or something else altogether. Anyway, we'll dive right in. The first couple are ones... well, I've seen the phrase bandied around, and it really does stick in my mind when I see it, or when I hear it, or when I see albums like this. And the phrase is channeling my inner Headley. And mean that with the utmost respect, because as I've sort of detailed before, being here on the VC, and you've got people with a wonderful knowledge and insights in very specific areas and things, and they really open your eyes up to some things that you wouldn't have often thought about. So the high lonesome sound of Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys. Look at that cover, fantastic stuff. This was $1. Yeah, okay, there's a bit of tape down the bottom. You know, a little bit of wear here and there. It's a repress, I think, even though it was an early 70s album. Got that Rainbow MCA Records there, but the High Lonesome Sound. I just love that title. So, you know, to channel the inner Headley and dive right into some quality country and bluegrass music. What's not to be well, I mean, what's not to like about that? I really love that cover. I just think it's very, very striking. All of these as well, I haven't, some of these, I mean, this is probably the oldest one I picked up at around about a month or so ago. And I just haven't been around listening, let alone making records. So I haven't heard any of these at the moment, sadly. But I'm really looking forward to Bill Monroe. The next one as well, I don't know who's mentioned this or where from. But look, again, it's $1. The inner Headley phrase is coming back out at me. Mickey Newbury, funny, familiar, forgotten feelings. Yeah, it's sort of giving off a country vibe, and then there's these vaguely pop-psych tinges to the cover or that, you know. So yeah, had to again pick this one up. I think this could be a UK press, to be honest. It could even be a repress. I'm just having a look. There's nothing saying an Australian one. Anyway, on that RCA label. And I, apart from the name, I'm seeing on the back here Van Zandt wrote or co-wrote one song. So maybe that's some of an indicator of what lie ahead on this album. So if anyone knows anything or can vouch for these artists or these particular albums too, please put a note in the comments below, because I'd love to get your thoughts and guidance, I guess, on these blind buys. So $1, Mickey Newbury. I have a feeling there could be something to like in that for sure. This next one, an interesting one. I picked up 2 copies of this, so you might have seen it on the good old Vinyl Boy Triggers channel, but I put this in a sleeve already. This was, I think, $1 for a test pressing. Now, there's no indication of the artist on either side. All we've got is a catalogue number, which is borne out in the matrix number as well. The interesting thing was, oh, and a date as well, which I think, I don't know whether that's the release date or the date it was pressed. But interestingly, the catalogue number, as soon as I saw this, it ticked me off. I went, I know that record. And the reason I knew that record is because only a couple of weeks later, earlier, sorry, I was able to pick up the CD of the same. So if you look at that catalogue number there, I don't know if that's going to focus, 256920-1. So the -1 is generally a format suffix to catalogue numbers. So the -1 is a vinyl LP. This is certainly the case in Australia anyway. -2 happens to be the CD. So what that test pressing is this CD here, Spy vs. Spy, Trash the Planet. I don't know if you're able to see the catalogue number on the spine there. Excuse me. 256920.2. So there's the CD. Once, because I'd seen that just before and picked it up, I knew what I had here. And a test pressing for $1. But again, haven't had a chance to listen to this, so they're an Australian band, I do know that much. There's kind of a new wave rock, late 80s feel to it, pub rock, as only Australia can do as well. Anyway, the next one. This was, yeah, again, something I've never heard of. But today, just today, found this for $2. The Paul Smith Trio on Warner. He Sells Jazz by the Seashore, recorded live. Live, it says down here, at the Hunting Horn. It's on Vitaphonic Stereo. Not sure what that means, to be honest, but it's got that classic wide spectrum stereo arrow there at the front. And like this is in, if I take this cover off, plastic that it came in, it's actually in quite nice condition as well. Flip backs there, $2 for this. You know, I'm thinking jazz, mid-60s on a Warner Brothers label. Surely there's got to be something interesting, if not decent altogether. I'm not going to argue with the cover art. I am enjoying the modish 60s version there. Very happy with that. But for me, the best thing of all, I have to say, I really, really liked seeing this. Get that out. You can already see it. Is the Warner Brothers gold label. I think that is just beautiful. You can tell it's an original press, 65 Australian, because you've got the Rights Society's stamps on there. So the songwriting royalties were paid when those stamps appeared on the labels. So this is in just gorgeous condition, absolutely gorgeous. And for a blind buy for $2, pretty happy. This is looking like some lovely heavyweight 60s jazz. Not sure what sort of jazz yet. So if you do know, let me know. The Paul Smith Trio. He sells jazz by the seashore. Alright. Michael Nesmith. From a radio engine to the photon wing. Now, I posted this up on the Facebook YouTube group because I was struggling with the hype sticker featuring the hit single. The hit single what? And the brains trust you guys reliably inform me the hit single is Rio. Side 1, track 1. So, I have not heard this, not heard any Mike Nesmith. I hear people speak generally pretty favourably of his solo stuff, although this is 77, so it's probably going to be on a, I'm assuming, a little more commercial end. It's a great back cover too, by the way, on Island Records, which is quite interesting, I thought. And well, it's on Pacific Arts as well, so I'll just show that quickly. I could, because there's a label there. I find that little dove with the olive branch quite a lovely label as well. So, absolutely unaware or haven't heard any Mike Nesmith. So if you're a fan of this album, and there seem to be a few on the YouTube channel, then chime in. Let us know what you love, or also which Mike Nesmith albums you recommend to really look out for and go search. So, interested to hear what you think. Alright, this next one was, yeah, a $3 find as well. I couldn't leave it behind. It's also someone I know. I've just never heard this album before. And it's Van Morrison, St. Dominic's Preview. As I said, never heard this album. This is an Australian press. I do like that green Warner label as well. So from memory, this is 72. And yeah, it's just, the condition could be better. It's probably a VG. The record cover might be slightly better end of that. But for $3, I'm going to at least give it one go and see how it plays after it cleans up, and hopefully it'll be some good stuff. Alright, I'll try and get through these quickly. Ratatat, this is a 12-inch of 17 years and breaking away. So again, $3 Australian, or what's that? £1.70, $2.25 US. What? €2, not so sure. Square Pusher, Venus, number 17, and Tundra. I love this here, how you can see how they've actually made the label fit right in, and you can see how it starts not to on the other side. But yeah, warp label, square pusher. I sort of know what I'm in for with this, but I'm hoping that there's an ambient edge, maybe at least on the B-side on Tundra, that overrides the glitch that I'm sort of expecting, the glitch techno and electro sounds. This one, an old favourite, Manitoba, Giver. I don't know this song, but I loved Manitoba, who ended up becoming Caribou, I think, Up in Flames album, and this might be from just before. This is called Dundas, Ontario, and on the B-side we've got Tits and Ass, The Great Canadian Weekend, and Weber's Giver. Anyone a fan of Manitoba, Caribou, let us know. Also, if you're Canadian, is The Great Canadian Weekend really about tits and ass? Because this is kind of leading me to believe that. That's, yeah, interesting stuff. An early 12-inch, I think, from Germain, Alabama Blues Revisited. Again, haven't heard this song. I always enjoyed their Tourist albums, so this will be an interesting listen. And we're getting up to the end of this. 3 albums here. I think these are sort of all towards a hardcore, hardcore punk genres. So I know nothing about them, but just the fact that they're around, you've got to grab them at $3 Australian a piece. Daylight, Sinking. So a 5-track, I guess EP. Yeah, sure, it's a little bit beat around. There's some things, bends and marks and things on here. But look, for basically an op shop find, you don't often find pretty coloured looking vinyl like this at all. So, yeah, I wasn't about to leave that there. I'll have to bring this home, have a listen, see if it's my thing. Daylight, Sinking. So if you're a fan of Daylight, or you've heard of them, let me know. Next one as well, I'm assuming in a fairly similar vein. So yeah, the cover's got a bit of wear and everything on there. This is on Victory Records, and it's Comeback Kid with Wake the Dead. This one is on white vinyl. So, yeah, I just Comeback Kid I know nothing about. So if you do, let me know what you think of them. Now these guys, this is the last one here, and I have heard of these guys. It's pretty interested to even see that this was left. So it's definitely the epitome for me of a blind buy. I've heard good things. So I'm looking forward to getting this on the turntable. And it's a Gaslight Anthem, the 59 sound. So I'm loving those kind of, it's got that classic sort of, I don't know, there's a rock and roll Springsteen-y 50s via Springsteen classicism in there. I'm assuming, you know, you're seeing some leather jackets and some tattoos, you know, piercings. I'm assuming there's some sort of kind of hardcore punk leanings and things in there in the background. Again, look, the cover's a bit wavy. I think there's been a little bit of water damage and things. Not too bad overall. The vinyl's not looking too bad, apart again from a little bit of that water damage there, so we can clean that up. But, yeah, look, other than that, the vinyl itself, apart from needing a bit of a clean, is looking in pretty decent shape. Never would have thought I'd be finding the Gaslight Anthem's 59 sound around. So if you're a fan of this one, please let us know in the comments. If you got a way to describe them, what I'm in for with this. And yeah, look forward to all of your comments. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I've got no excuse for... maybe I need to edit that out. I'm sorry I haven't been around much here. I'm trying to keep on top of watching everyone's videos and really been enjoying what I've been able to see as well. I do want to ramp up the amount of videos here. And again, I've got some things up my sleeve that I really hope to get on the video and out to you guys soon. But in the meantime, take care, everyone, from Grandma's Handbag. Look forward to your comments. Look forward to all your videos and your finds as well. Keep it rolling, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Cheers. Have a good one.